Hey guys, Dan here with another news update, and this one is actually a fairly exciting one as our next set has been officially announced by Pokemon. This set is going to be released just before Worlds takes place on the 14th of August this year. The set's name continues the Plasma trend, being called Plasma Blast, and should be set to contain many cards, if not all of them, from the BW9 set Mugello Cannon from Japan. Along with this announcement has come 14 English official scans which we are going to take a look at thanks to Pokebeach.com, and there are some very nice ones to take a look at too. First though, some general info about the set, and as I mentioned, this will be released on the 14th of August and will feature over 100 cards, which is always nice to hear. The booster pack arts have also been released along with some other confirmed cards that don't currently have scans. Dialga and Palkia EX have both been confirmed, as well as a new Kyurem EX. 5 full arts will feature, and there will be 4 brand new A-Spec cards too. So lots of tasty stuff to get excited for, even if it is over a month away. Another interesting thing to note is that in the description of the set it states that this is Plasma's last stand, which hints at this being the last in the Plasma era in the TCG, and also with the Pokemon X and Y games coming out in October, we could see some X and Y themed sets coming out soon, but we'll just have to wait and see. So on to some scans, and we start off with the 2 most anticipated cards from the set, Genesect EX and Virizion EX. So these are actually 2 cards that I've gone over before when they were released over in Japan, as they are very powerful cards, but I'll briefly go over them again now that we have them confirmed over here. I'll start with Virizion, which has an ability called Verdant Wind that stops any of your Pokemon with grass energy attached from being affected by special conditions. This is huge, as it stops the use of the ever popular Hypnotoxic Laser, which will most definitely still be here in August even if a rotation does happen. We all know how big Laser has been so far in defining this format, so imagine just not having to worry about it at all for just a single grass attachment. That is pretty nice. The attack, however, isn't that great, so we need someone for Virizion to support, and this comes in the form of Genesect EX, and it's an absolutely crazy one. The good thing you can see straight away is that it's a grass type Pokemon needing grass energy to attack, meaning that Virizion can stop it from being targeted by special conditions. The next good point is that it's a Team Plasma Pokemon, meaning that it can gain all the Plasma benefits such as Chorus Machine use and boosted damage output thanks to Deoxys. The ability is really nice too, called Red Signal, which states that when you attach a Plasma energy from your hand onto Genesect EX, you can switch the opponent's active Pokemon with one of their benched, which should sound very familiar. Yep, Genesect has an ability that acts like a catcher, but bear in mind it only works if you attach Plasma from the hand, not with Chorus Machine, so don't jump out of your seats just yet. There's another card that will make you do that. The final thing on Genesect is the attack called Mugello Cannon, which does a straight 100 damage for 2 grass and a colorless, and then you snipe for 20 damage on one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. This is actually a really nice attack with big output that can be achieved by turn 2 at best, thanks to Chorus Machine, and a Snipe Edition is always going to be great, as we've seen in the past. However, there is another card that makes up this ultimate combo from this set, which was also revealed this week, and that is G-Booster. G-Booster is an A-Spec card, meaning you can only have 1 in your deck, and that is probably a good thing, and what it does is fairly unique, as we haven't seen anything like it since the SP days. G-Booster is a tool card that gives an extra attack to Genesect EX when it's attached to Genesect, and the attack is called G-Booster, the same name as the card. It also costs 2 grass and a colorless, but does 200 damage and makes you discard 2 energy from it. It is also not affected by any effects on the defending Pokemon, meaning it'll get through stuff like Sigilif Safeguard, Eviolite, and stuff like that by still doing damage. This is a crazy good attack that can take down anything in the game without the need for any other support in damage, so we need to be looking out for this card combination. Even though this card is an A-Spec and you can only have 1 in your deck, you can actually get this back from the discard pile with cards such as Shadow Triad, as G-Booster is a Team Plasma card, and stuff like Dowsing Machine. The energy discard is the downside, but it's not a huge one for firing off a huge 200 damage attack for the same energy as your standard powerful one. These 3 cards combined are going to be super strong in the future format when they finally hit our stores in August. However, aside from the beast cards from the new set, there are also a couple more interesting cards that were also revealed on Pokebeach. The first is Frostlass, which has the ability called Cursed Glare, which states as long as Frostlass is in your active position, your opponent cannot play any special energy cards from their hands. Straight away, this sounds awesome against Plasma, and it really is, since they will only be able to play Plasmas through Chorus Machine and not have any kind of coloured energy whatsoever. The bad thing is that Frostlass's attack is poor and its HP is too low to keep it in the active spot for too long for it to make a difference. Blizzard for 30 and then 10 to the entire bench on the other side of the field is good early game, but not worth being a stage 1, and you then won't be attacking with it for long. It is a really interesting ability though. Next up is Drifblim, who is a little better than Frostlass with the ability Drifting Balloon, and the effect is that Drifblim's attacks cost 1 colourless energy less for each Team Plasma Pokemon on the opponent's side of the field. When we look at the attack, it costs 3 colourless energy, meaning that just 3 Plasma Pokemon on the opposing side of the field will give you a free attack. And using Derail for 70 and then discarding a special energy on the defending Pokemon is actually really great for free. Drifblim is also a stage 1 and it's got free retreat to boot, so this could maybe do some decent damage. However, 70 is still rather low for this format and it's weak to Dark, which could be a problem. However, another interesting card. The next one is a hugely hyped card from this set and is another EX in the form of Jirachi. Jirachi comes back into the game as a 90 HP EX with an ability and an attack. The ability is where it's at with this card called Stellar Guidance, and states that when Jirachi is placed from your hand and onto your bench, you may search your deck for a supporter card and place it into your hand. Now this is what we have been lacking for a very long time, a searchable form of consistency in the form of a Pokemon. The good things about this card is that its HP is so low that it can be searched out with Level Ball, making it easier to find from the deck, but that is also its very weak point, since it's an EX with 90 HP. Not good. However, does the pro of it getting you out of a single dead hand but giving up 2 prizes later on outweigh just hoping to top deck, or is it just putting a massive dent in your comeback? We'll just have to wait and see. Up next is an actually interesting Stage 2 card in the form of Haxorus because of its second attack called Strike of the Champion, and there is a huge reason for this attack having such an epic name, as for a fighting and a metal energy, if you're attacking a Team Plasma Pokemon, that Pokemon is automatically knocked out. This is a crazy attack effect as it could be set up turn 2 with the right cards and just start swinging through EXs. The energy does seem awkward, but they are on the same blend energy, so you can run those too, and Dragon isn't a widely played type at the moment, so that 140 HP might give it a couple of turns of attacking. Overall, I'm not sure how this card is best played, but there is definitely some potential there. And the final Pokemon is Porygon Z, which has a vaguely interesting ability called Plasma Transfer that allows you to move as many Plasma energy from one Pokemon to another as often as you like per turn. Being a stage 2 really hurts this guy's chance of getting any play though, even though the ability is interesting. However, I'm not sure if it's going to be worth setting up just so you can move around a maximum of 4 energy if you get them all into play. The final card that was revealed from this update was a supporter called Iris, obviously based off of the Pokemon anime, and it allows your Pokemon to do 10 more damage to the defending Pokemon for each prize card the opponent has taken. This reminds me a lot of Black Belt from last year, where a player who was behind could squeeze out that extra amount of damage out of an attack to possibly take some crucial prizes they may not have been able to take without it. You will be adding a maximum of 50 damage to your Pokemon's attacks, which can be game changing, especially when you're out of lasers or extra damage outputters. It's a very interesting card, but it doesn't draw any cards, which could cause some players to shy away from it. However, we still don't know what else will become big come September, so we may see it squeak in as a one-off copy in the future. The final thing to mention in this update are 4 of the full arts we'll be getting, which look like this and are Iris, Jirachi EX, Virizion EX, and Genesect EX. They all look really nice as usual, and I'm sure players will look forward to getting some more shiny in their decks. So that actually turned out to be a fairly large news update, but the cards revealed were very interesting, and I think it warranted a video of its own to really put them into context. All that's left to say is, what do you think of the new Plasma Blast set so far, and what are you looking forward to? So that's it from me today, guys, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, then a like would be greatly appreciated, and if you happen to be new to the channel, then please subscribe for more Pokemon videos. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll catch you all next time.